that every language is a second language. We learn first the world of our senses, our skin, our tongues, our eyes, ears, nose, all the skin mostly. And little by little we fit words to those things. So in that sense, language itself is a translation of our original experience. And later on, that translation can get translated elsewise. So from that point of view, I'm very happy to be allowed to read poems that I think are mine. After Charlotte read Language That Is Hers, and some Frenchman somewhere had a dream that she puts into English words. How many of us have read Proust? We've all read Scott Moncrief. Right? How many of us have read Kafka? We've all read Edmund Muir. Very few of us have read the originals. Certainly Kafka wasn't able to read the originals. He had to dream them outwards. Anyway, I'm fascinated by the relationship between anything we say and anything we have had happen to us before. So I can offer this as a translation. Now in this particular case, I want to read one text essentially. A month or so ago, Billy Chernikoff, the poet, here, had a dream in which I wrote an Advent calendar. I heard that when she told me about it with some interest and a little confusion because I'd never had an Advent calendar. I sort of vaguely knew what it was, and I read about it and found out that it's something that in the late last century crept into Catholic and Protestant observation of having a thing where a calendar where you open a door each day. I don't know what's under the door. I'm imagining a holy text or a picture or a snake. I don't know what would be under the door. But inside the door, there are 24 doors, one for each day of the Advent season. Advent being the season from the fourth Sunday before Christmas till Christmas Eve. So I read about that and I thought, Advent calendar, I've got to write this, so I wrote that. So I'm translating her dream or the phrase Advent calendar. Advent in Latin means coming to or coming towards. And I think in Christian terms it celebrates the coming of Christ to the world. Why they celebrate for 4 weeks, I don't know. In this particular year, Advent began on the 29th of November. I looked that up. And so there were 26 days. So there are 26 doors. I can't put a door on the page, so I'm just calling them days. Day 1. Who is on the stairs? The stars. Who is on the carpet? The stains. Is it wine? Only one. Day 2. The doorway wreathed with green, determined to open all closed things. Does it open in or open out? I'm not allowed to say. You'll have to remember by yourself. Things wait for you to decide. Day 3. It is the oil man come to fuel the fire. It is the barber come to shape the flame. The masseuse to find it in the bone. Open the door. It is a bone. Day 4. Passageways start in the cellar wall. Go through the whitewashed stones a long way in. You're under the garden. Now you smell the herbs. Name them. Naming them is almost as good as tea, as flowers. Names are flowers. You hear the flower's voice above you, muted by mild earth. They sound like tarot cards being shuffled fast, or wild turkeys stumbling through corn. Day 5. Admire the dark in front of you. Reach out and touch it tenderly, gently, at the level of your hips. You're holding the dark in your arms now. Be brave and whisper your name. Day 6. Passage keeps going. Strike a match. See the sweating old pipes that feed the fountain over your head. A fountain is always above you. Now touch the wet copper, then touch your wet fingers to your brow. Everything is above you. You belong to one another. Day 7. No passage ever ends because you fail. You feel. It reaches the cave now, the original one, where thunder makers sat long ago inventing clouds, sending them out to sail, girl clouds, boy clouds, and one great cloud, all fringed with lapis and silver, on which he'll be coming soon. Soon. It's too dark to count the days. Day 8. Be there with me, it says above the altar. Empty stone, cubicle, almost rough-hewn, cave or large, secret society of matter, fungus growing off the walls. Edible? All things can be eaten. Not all we eat gives life. Day 9. But the cave is empty. What good is that? Don't dwell in the past. Go back to the cellar. Climb the stairs. Burst into the yellow kitchen. I'm here, you shout. And the windows fill with autumn light, maple and linden and ash. Day 10. Living in time is living in a house. That's why the children grow up and leave. But one of them will soon be coming back. You know it in your heart. The coming. The coming. Now count the days, but don't use numbers. Day 11. There's a Greek phrase in this which means the light increases. It's from the earliest, I looked it up, it's from the earliest Christian prayer. I have to let the Christian into this somewhere. Day 11. Imagine fingers on your spine, trailing, telling. Vertebrae as keyboard, rosary, row of buttons down a long, slim coat. Safe in the kitchen, you think about this. I'm home, you shout again. And at the sound of your call, the light increases. Fos, okay. And you suddenly remember. Day 12. Cave after cave. I love you, says the wall. The kitchen curtains waver in the autumn breeze. Yes, windows are open. It's that warm. Mild, your mother would have called it. Fearing a more impassioned word, committed word. Some people are afraid of the heat. That's why he's coming. Day 13. Not that wall. The other one. White, flaking, old, underneath everything else. The foundation. Your house stands on this. It has form. It is firm as things go. This is the wall that loves you, divides your space from the general commonwealth of earth. Stand at the head of the cellar stairs and listened softly. Day 14. Of course, this is all in your house. Where else could anything be? He's there too, waiting for his time to come. Coming is about time, isn't it? Not space, but time. In the actual being there, in you, in the house. Of course he's coming. He always is. Day 15. It's an important day because this is the 15th day of Advent today. Soon the lawn glider will fill up with snow. You'll have to find elsewhere to drowse your afternoons. And elsewhere is a very strange place. That's why he's coming here. Everyone comes here to be with someone, with you. Day 16. This backwards should be day 16. I like to finish things before I start, she said. The titmice outside looked up from their seed. Impossibilities interest birds. How else could they have stepped off that first time into the air? Maybe she can do it, they thought. Maybe he'll be here before he comes. And then they went on eating. Day 17. This kind of sun never gets around to setting. Stay indoors, I told the girl. Imagine the door opening. What do you see? I see a garden. Been there before, with flowers in it, white ones, I supposed. I forgot to ask, but he'll tell me when he comes. Day 18. I want to sing the longest song you ever heard. And when I'm done, I want you to sing it. Onward. What else can we do while we wait for him to come? Or is coming itself just a sudden waiting, packed into an instant of time, like heartbeats and beast breath bottled into some long song? Day 19. After the kitchen is empty, you're on the stairs, coming up to meet the dusty light. You can never keep a skylight clean. Things fall on it, and birds and air itself brings pollen and disasters. You stand on the landing watching up. Light also is something worth waiting for, because you know it finally comes, must come, built into the system. Even in Greenland, even in December, it has to show up. He has to come. You don't have to do anything. Stand there, pretend to be a broom, snuggled into a corner. Pretend to be the kind of animal that sleeps in light, deep in light, and wakes to love you. Day 20. You're at the highest window in the house, hence closer, you suppose, to his arrival. He's playing chess with Mongolians now, or reading the paper in Ankara. He knows most languages, or walking in the hills above the city where the first people stood, building stone men and stone snakes around them. Religion is the weirdest thing and never ends, or never till he finally gets here. Day 21. Laughing helps. Stewed prunes for breakfast and Mersenne primes. Tweed jacket against the chill. You can read the paper too, the news, though all of it you've seen before. Only he is new. Even he isn't again. Even now he's in the outskirts of Jerusalem. Day 22. Math is good to while away the time. Math and skin and snatches from opera. Lie there humming Falstaff's "The whole world's one big joke" aria, or Wolfram's "Welcoming the Evening Star." They're on YouTube if you've forgotten how they go. Going is not important anyway. Staying is. Unveiling yourself, lying prone, holding yourself ready for the great arrival. Ready means naked and intelligent. Eyes closed, doors opening and closing by themselves. Day 23. But I keep thinking about the cave. All this sunlight makes me nervous. All the things it makes you see. Here it is dark, alveolar, alluvial, a word soft wet in the mouth, waiting to be said. Language has its advent too, miracles. Cure the cave wall, those spooky white mushroom things in the crannies. Cure my fear of dark and fear of light, my fear of skin and fear of loneliness. I'll know I'm safe when it's dim enough all round me that I can't read anymore. The Nazca lines on the desert of my palms. Day 24. Pieces of gold, not all circular, and fillings from old skulls. Money is so macabre. We hurry out of the opera house rejoicing that all the banks are closed. Only bars and brothels want us now. The universe at midnight turns inside out. But we don't notice. I ran a brothel once and called it a book. I ran a bar and called it the Bible. Opened a church and pretended to be that vague stone table called an altar. Ara, which as a verb means to plow. Plow. So many languages. Arator, plowman, orator, the one who prays. Some prayer lasts longer than time. Forget about it. You're home now. He's almost here. Or he is here already. Never anywhere else. Advent is when something else sidles up to you and makes the healing knowledge come. Day 25. But the whitewashed wall is what I really mean. So long ago, the house I hurried, the ground beneath which I composed, night by night my wordless treatises, compounds of orpiment and lead, scratchy LPs full of late Mahler. Oh, his summers when all the work got done, the summer of every midnight when I listened. And I'm just speaking of me. All round me, 100,000 treatises got written, studied, forgotten, turned into music, sung their way into silence, in and under every house in town, and my town was the largest one of all. Day 26. So if he came here, he'd be everywhere at once. By my hypothesis, he is. He's coming now. He's come. Look around you. See his shadow on the wall. His eyes in your bright mirror.